my boss, your boss, our boss, the leader of Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner.
All right, let's somebody go get Chief Pinion. Will you bring your friend in? All right, okay, let me get everybody's attention. Shh. And let me get you to come a little closer. You don't have to be at the back of the bus. You've been free. Yeah, I don't like people to be at the back of the bus. Okay. Look, I've got a number of city council people who are here today. In fact, I think we got a quorum. You know? So we won't discuss any of the city business, right now. But look, this is one of those days that some would say bittersweet. But before Chief Acevedo became the chief of the Houston Police Department, I said yesterday, before his command staff, that I knew Chief Acevedo prior to when I served as a legislator in Austin for many years, and he was the police chief in Austin. And he would come over to the Capitol and testify at various hearings, and then, of course, I would see him in the city of Austin. So I knew him prior to. And then when I became mayor, we continued to communicate and stay in touch. And then it was just, I would say just fate that after me becoming mayor, then extended him, asked him to come from Austin to come to the city of Houston, and he did. And so, but since this is the Holy Week for those of us in our religion is coming up. Let me just say this. Everyone has a season. And for those who are familiar with Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, it talks about there being a time for everything. And there are some things, you may not quite understand. But just like the weather, so to speak, seasons will come. And then seasons will go. But what you do in your season matters. And so in the season that Chief Art Acevedo has been here in the city of Houston, he has served us well. And I will miss him. Now, the purpose of today's function is to see how many times we can make him cry. How many tears? How many tears that we can cause to come out of them eyes? And so I know it's going to happen. So I brought him a parting gift. But now this is a very special moment. And I've always been taught that if you want to be blessed, it's always good to be grateful. And today is our way of demonstrating our gratitude to Chief Art Acevedo for his service. And though we will miss him, we also wish him well. So I've asked his command staff to be here with him on this stage, and here they are. This is the command staff. They're out of uniform. Chief Henry, they're out of uniform, but this is the command staff. And I want to bring up the Mayor Pro Tem, who was leading this command staff for his remarks. Give it up to Mayor Pro Tem Dave Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. And Councilmember Abby Kamen, who heads up the Committee of Public Service, was supposed to be here. So she gave me 3 pages of notes. So I'm not going to use them. But I will say that I'm proud to be up here with my council member brothers and sisters in saluting Chief Art Acevedo. So when he was in Austin, the city of Austin was a little bit more weirder when he was there. But when he came here, the city of Houston became a little bit more cooler. So for the folks that live in the Miami area, if you envision this, you have Chief Acevedo moving to Miami, and then a little bit north of them, you have Donald Trump. So God bless the Twitter world, because it is going to be on fire between these two. But Chief, we'll miss you. You did a great job when you were here. May the good Lord continue to bless you and your family and keep you safe, happy, and prosperous in the city of Miami. So we will miss you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. God bless you.
And like I said, yesterday, the command staff gave a luncheon for him on yesterday, and the Houston Police Officers Union presented him with something. And today, Eric, is DeAndre? I'm looking right at him. DeAndre Hutchison, who is president of the African American Police Officers Association, did not want this day to pass without also being here as well. And he just happens to be, my fraternity brother. Oh, you said?
From Alias.
Oh, you're from Alias? All right. So give it up to the president of the African American Police Officers Association.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for allowing me 60 seconds. I told him I was going to be 60 seconds, but I got to tell y'all this story. When Chief first got here, he came, he was doing a great job. He said, come by my office anytime, call me anytime. So one day we get to his office and we say, Chief, we've been calling you. You never answer the phone. He said, yeah, I told you to call me anytime, but I ain't say nothing about answering. So in true political fashion, Chief, he gave us that political correct answer. He learned it. I think he probably got that one out of a page out of Mayor Turner's playbook. But in all honesty, on behalf of the Afro-American Police Officers League, Chief, we thank you. We thank you for bringing your heart to work every day. We thank you for listening to APO. We thank you for supporting APO. Thank you for being at the George Floyd funeral. Thank you for marching in the streets with the Houstonians. You did what the city needed when it needed. So we thank you for your heart. And on behalf of the organization, we have this Rolex watch here. All right. It ain't gonna say Rolex, it's gonna say something else, but in our heart, it really is a Rolex. But we thank you for your time, Chief. We love you.
Thank you. You said Rolex, and I was about to say I was leaving. I was gonna snatch the bag. Oh, I tell you, I'm gonna look in that bag though and see if it was a Rolex though. But look, thanks very much. Appreciate y'all's leadership, and DeAndre, appreciate your leadership. And then every time, not every time, but most of the time, when I would see Chief Acevedo, I would look and I would see Chief Fenner, I would see Chief Slinkett. They pretty much they ran together as three, So you see one, you're gonna see the other two almost all the time. And I would tell you what Chief, what does make things easier, I guess, to digest is that when your bench is strong, when the bench is strong, and you have one of your major player of whatever reason either moves forward or moves on, and when the bench is strong, at least you know that the team remains intact and the team is strong. And you've built a good, strong bench, and we appreciate that. So the foundation is strong with some incredible people here. And one of those persons is now your successor, to pick up the mantle and move the city forward. And so the city is still in very good hands. And it's someone by my height, too.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Chief. So let me at this point, let me call on the chief soon to be that's been approved by this city council, Chief Troy Fenner.
Thank y'all very much. So there are no secrets in police departments, no things confidentiality. So we started getting calls from Austin before he came here. And I had one really good friend on this command staff, and he told me everything about Chief Acevedo, and it was true. All right? True. I'll share some of that with him a little bit later, but let me tell you something. We are simply in a better place in the Houston Police Department because of this man's leadership. Disagree with the politics, disagree with whatever you want to. His love and his commitment to this city, to this department, over the last 4.5 years is second to none. And I just want to personally thank him for a friendship and your leadership, your mentorship. I'll never forget what you've done for us and what you've shown us. We're in a good place. It's a lot of work to do here. I know he's going to take that tornado to Miami. And look, I gave them their forewarning. But most importantly, he's the first one that could beat me to crime scenes. I'll go ahead and get that up to him, okay? Nobody has been able to beat me to crime scenes on our executive staff. He does it. And not all the time, but he does it. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. But Chief, to you and your family, much love. Great success in Miami. I know you'll do a great job there, but you've put things in us that we're going to carry on, and we're going to be strong on this department. So thank you, and Mayor, and thank you, City Council. Thank y'all.
I saw a tear. Oh, no, it's allergies. That's allergies, man. Don't cry.
Oh yeah, I mean the tears just come. Chief Fenner, he shares this. He just does them quietly, But look, we tried to. I think HTV and communication tried to capture a little bit, and so I want to present this. We want to show this video right quick. So why don't y'all just kind of step down right there for a moment, Chief?
Is this a comedy movie?
Just for a moment.
It's officially the top cop in Houston.
This is a big day for Houston. The office of Chief of Police of the City of Houston and the City of Houston. Just sit back, relax, buckle up, and get ready to enjoy the ride. You are so right. We are Texas strong here in Houston. Start caring about cops, children, and women in everyday gun violence. memorial stands as a testament to the Perez family and all 114 families that their sacrifice will be honored.
The monumental flooding and humanitarian disaster continues to unfold after Harvey, with some areas receiving over 51 inches of rain, a record in the U.S.
Asked him to come to the city of Houston. He performed at an exceptional level, and he will be missed by many of us in the city. But I wish him well.
Service is in my heart. Making a difference is in my heart. And when people need to understand that our communities are watching us as leaders, not just for what we say and do, but what we fail to say and do. And for communities that are communities of faith, God's doing the same thing. We're not fooling you.
Come on back. Let me thank HTV and Communications for putting together the video special events. And then I also want to acknowledge Rick Perales, the Deputy Director of the Houston Public Library, who is representing Dr. Lawson, who is out right now. So thank you so very, very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Look, Chief, if you'll just come and stand right there. Let me say this. Chief of Police Art Acevedo has led with distinction, honor, and vigilance as the first Hispanic to lead the Houston Police Department. He has safeguarded life and property and risked his life to guard and protect us. And I mean that literally, because Chief Pena, I would get calls saying he was out there chasing criminals and, out there arrested folk. And when one person called me and said, your chief is out there, I said, what do you mean he's out there? They said, well, he's going down the road flying after the criminals and stuff, trying to catch him. I went on back to bed. I said, well, that's Chief Acevedo. And look, Houstonians deeply appreciate and respect the dedication, the valor, the service, and I would add, and the realness of Chief Acevedo with HPD. Chief Acevedo was born in Cuba and later immigrated to the United States, grew up in California. He later earned a bachelor's in public administration from the University of La Verne in California. And during his career with HPD, Chief Acevedo believed in cultivating a unique understanding of the concerns of the diverse communities that Houston thrives on. His beliefs in facilitating good two-way communication between the community and the police department was integral to strengthening civilians' trust in their local law enforcement. And I would add, he embraced the diversity of our city, and the diversity of our city embraced him. Chief Acevedo's law enforcement career began in 1986 with California Highway Patrol, and as a field patrol officer, he rose to the ranks and was soon named Chief of the California Highway Patrol in 2005. He also served in several other leadership capacities shortly before leading the HPD in 2016. And throughout his tenure, he has proudly represented the city with distinction, both in moments of crisis and in celebration, in sorrow as well as in happiness. During his tenure in this city, he has walked with those who voiced their concerns, and he has joined in the celebration of the victories that we have had in our city. At the same time, he has carried the burdens and the sorrows of those who have died, either as police officers or just people that live in our city. And he has rescued people from floods, responded to crime scenes, coordinated security for signature events, marched with 60,000 individuals demanding social justice, and responded with heartaches following the tragic loss of law enforcement officers in the line of duty. But I would also say that he has been genuinely Chief Art Acevedo. And that is, he's been someone whose heart has been demonstrated through his service. You knew what he was passionate about, and he was unabashedly unashamed of stating his position. And he just became a part of this Houston community. One would have a hard time believing he was not born here, because certainly he has just blended in with the fabric. And so on March 31st, 2021, family and friends will gather in recognition and appreciation of Chief of Police Art Acevedo's 5 years of dedication and loyal service to the city of Houston. And the city of Houston congratulates and commends Chief of Police Art Acevedo and extends best wishes for outstanding service in his new venue. And let me just say, I will miss you. Miami is gaining certainly a fine one. The Mayor Suarez, in my conversations with him, some of the conversation was nice, and some of the conversation was not as pleasant. But as I am reminded by the mayor of Austin, Sylvester, what Mayor Suarez did to you, you did it unto me. And so, but I want you to know it has been my privilege to work with you and to serve with you and to do our best to protect the people in our city. And because of all of that and so much more, I have the privilege of saying, therefore I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proudly proclaim this day, 2021, as Chief Art Acevedo Day in the City of Houston.
Thank you, Mayor. Love you, man.
And so let me step out of the way, but let me say something funny so you can wipe away your tears and get yourself together. And oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me do this. Yeah, let's do this. Because I want to get the council members.
There we go.
Yeah.
Come on, AKA TT.
It's the Twin Towers. you, Mayor.
Okay, at this time, let me bring up Chief Art Acevedo.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mayor, so much. And yeah, you made me cry. But I've been crying for like 2 weeks. May I take this off for a second? I have both of my shots thanks to your leadership. Thank you very much. And to our partners at Health. But it's been a heck of a ride. This city is such a special place. I mean, we've been bragging on the city for 5 years together, and we always say that this is the city of tomorrow. And I believe that. And, Mayor, when we first talked about this job, we were at a restaurant, and I told you God had put in my heart years ago, 3 years before that I was going to end up in Houston. And you asked me why, and we talked about our spirituality. And when you think about everything we've been through as a city, as a family, a city family, because it's the police department gets all the credit and the blame, but it takes an entire village of city services, water and parks. I mean, everybody in this city comes together with such resiliency and so much commitment and just so much pride. And what we lack in resources because of the revenue cap, right? We make up with grit and we make up with heart. And the grit that my 12-year-old boy told me just 4 weeks ago when we were coming back from an event on a Saturday, and he looked at the skyline, and I tweeted about it, and he says, Dad, I really love our skyline. I love our city. And I said, well, why do you love it so much? He said, because you have to have grit to live in Houston. And while grit may seem like a four-letter word to somebody else, I think grit talks a lot about character. And when this opportunity came up, I was not looking to leave because I made a commitment to you. I came here because of your political courage that I got to witness on remember the constitutional carry and everything else. I'll never forget that speech you gave where we were able to kill that Huffines Amendment, and now it's back again. It's like a Groundhog Day with these people in the legislature. But I'm going to close with this. I committed to staying with you. But I think that God's the only one that opens and closes his door. We are all his vessels. And he opened the door to me through you to come here to serve together. Had you gotten your way, I've told you time and again, I told you on day 3 of Harvey, when I told you, had you had your way, Mayor, and won your election the first time or the second time, you wouldn't be here today. And God knew he needed you for this day and this moment. And so now he's opened this door to me. And I'll be real frank with you. You've got Troy Finner, Matt Slinkard, and a phenomenal team that I had the privilege of working with. And you had the political courage to pick your team instead of going through this minutia BS. Because what people, they're not interested, they may be interested in process, these activists and maybe the media. But what the people that we serve are interested in is results. And you bring results, and we will bring results, and HPD will continue to bring results, and this council that is so courageous that they're under so much pressure to pretend that policing is broken and throw away the baby with the bathwater. This council, unlike other councils, has said, no, we're not going to defund the police. We're going to make the police better, and we're going to make sure that all communities, all segments of society get to live in peace and security. So God bless you, Mayor. God bless all of us here that are here, the mayor and council and all of our colleagues. Thank you for your work. And I'd like, with your permission, to do one last thing. I need Troy Finner to come up here. He doesn't know this is going to happen, but Chief Finner, come up here. Chief of Police Finner, come here. Executive Chief to be here. Mayor, and I whispered to the mayor, as of tomorrow morning, this man will be the acting police chief with all the authorities that come with that. And on Tuesday, he will be officially sworn in. But we, by design, decided to swear in at the same time at different places. So I won't be here Monday. But the city won't buy these badges. We're on a budget. And you don't have to wear this one, but I wanted to pin you with your badge, and I want to give you our stars, and I want the mayor and Matt to, with your permission, Mayor, to put on your stars. I love you guys, and I want to tell you, I'm proud of both of you. And I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry because Finner won't cry. Finner will not cry. I told him his tear.
on the inside.
Yeah, he cries on the inside. Hey, Mayor, can you grab these?
Don't choke him, man.
Come on over here.
Don't choke him.
I'm gonna get started on this. You want me to keep these, or you want me to pin these now?
No, we're going to pin them.
All right.
We're going to pin them. We're going to pin my brother. I give you your badge, but your badge isn't this.
I've done this about 5,000 times over almost 30 years. So
Basketball player.
Hey, what? Okay, wait a minute. Hey, Mayor, I'm sorry, but impersonating a police officer is a crime in here in Texas. I don't have to. It'll be a very uncomfortable situation. Let's get these off.
All right.
You got these. You can do this on Monday. You don't want to put them on? This side, like this side. There you go. This right there.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Chief.
I'm taking these guys with me.
No,
I was gonna do the
I will.
There you go.
It's,
Kind of blinking your eyes a lot, Chief.
yes.
Hey, they got me nervous. Nice.
Bringing vegetarian.
I think I see a tear. Is that tear? No, is that allergies
not.
again? It's not.
I'm not afraid to cry. It just don't happen a lot.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like that myself.
Yeah. Here we go. Now the badge. You know what comes with the verse.
Right, but
Mayor, hit that badge.
Now, this is yours, right?
That's it.
Well, I'm glad you were able to do that because Tangent, we don't have to buy another one. So Chief Finner, make sure you don't lose that one. Now, can we just take the uniform?
I'm going to the office to turn it in, I promise.
Okay. And the shoes? Can we have the gun?
Okay, Mayor. Now you started it. I'd give you the gun, but we got to buy those too in Houston. Our boots? Oh no, this is good.
All right, please give it up to Chief Art Acevedo.
That's good, Mayor. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you soon. Love you too.
Now, when you go to Miami, make sure you get his telephone number, and he will get you situated, discounted prices, and all of that. But no, wish you well. Let me thank all of the directors. Let me thank all of you all for being here. Very special moment, Chief. I really like what you did towards the end, Chief Finner. Thank you very much. So we're in good hands, and I think that should wrap it up. You did take that mask off. Anybody got some Lysol? I need to spray right up in here. All right, thank you all so very much. All right, enjoy. I think there's some food out there. Yeah, so please enjoy the food. That's just right out there. Okay.